This is from Albert Breer, Sports Illustrated. Teams' needs and targets in the NFL draft for the Browns. He says the needs: defensive tackle, interior offensive line, wide receiver, running back. Look at that. He got them all right. You don't often see that in these. What you need to know: Browns are in the enviable position of being able to plan a year or two out with a pretty complete roster devoid of major holes. They'd like to add a defensive tackle or two. Guys like Michael Hall, Chris Jenkins on day 2. Landing a running back in the middle rounds with Nick Chubb coming back from injury. Casey, that's I have seen a lot of these needs, and that's the first one that I agree pretty much wholeheartedly with.
Yeah, especially the first part of that, where he kind of identifies that the Browns are dealing from a point of strength and not going to draft out of desperation, and they can potentially kind of map their future through the draft, and there are several ways they could go in that. That's what allows them to be fluid in this process. Is they're not going to be locked into just we have to get this position at this spot. They can let the board dictate how it goes, and you just have to start looking how these rooms are already constructed and kind of envision who's the odd man out. Like if you take a Michael Hall, say at 85, or you trade up to get him, well, that probably means someone like Mo Hurst or Quentin Jefferson's probably on the out because it's a duplication of skill set, or if it's Chris Jenkins, then Siaka's probably gone, so you can see how that's going to work itself out. The running back one is the one that's going to intrigue me the most just because of the unknown factor. We don't know when Chubb's going to be ready. I'm sure they have a much better understanding in Berea, but if you see them take a Trey Benson, earlier in the draft, it kind of signals some things, and it's gonna determine how that room shapes up. You brought in a Nyheim Hines, who I think his spot's pretty secure. He gives you third down stuff, returns specialist. You can see how that allows the fluidity there. But then you start to wonder, is it going to be Deontay Foreman or Ford that kind of sees their way out if they go get a Benson or a Marshawn Lloyd or an Audric Estime? So that's the one we'll be paying attention to, because the style of running back they get will kind of dictate how that room shapes up.